Hi, Patrick here from Have Cheetah Will View. The cheetah's kicking it over here, laying on his blanket. He's pretty warm. It's cold tonight here in Michigan. It's cold and rainy, and it's in the 30s. Uh, so, what perfect time to bring up Dollar Tree Theater? Cold, blustery, early spring night. So, this movie that we watched, we put up a poll. We asked you guys to pick a film for us. We had Incarnate with Aaron Eckhart. That was pick with number one. And then pick number two was the movie we're going to be talking about tonight. And that is Pumpkins. Pumpkins is a 2018 horror slasher supernatural film from the Great Britain. This movie is set in the North Yorkshire area, and it says atmospheric slasher horror movie based in North Yorkshire. A survival experience group clash with a farmer set on revenge as they wade into his land, not knowing what awaits them and their team members. Sort of like it. Sort of right. This cover is badass. I gotta hand it to him. This cover is badass. So, this film is was released by High Octane, and I'll tell you a little bit about the film, and then we'll tell you our thoughts. This won't take long. So in North Yorkshire, there's an elderly man and his niece, Shelley, and they live a really quiet life, real simple life. And the uncle, his greatest pride in life is his pumpkin patch. Well, a couple of ne'er-do-dos, for some reason, seem to have it in for landowners, and this gentleman in particular. So they want to mess with him. So they go down there and they toss rocks and like play peekaboo. And he spots them. And so he decides that he's gonna take actually American style action. He grabs the gun. His niece Shelley says no, he can't be doing that. So she talks him down from shooting some rather old-looking guys, too. These guys are supposed to be either teens or college years, but they look like they're in their 30s. Well, the next day, the uncle comes out to feed his pumpkin patch, his pumpkins, and he comes out and he sees that they have come back and vandalized his pumpkins. Now, this is very important right here, as far as I was concerned. Now, normally you expect to have them come back and smash his pumpkins. Smashing pumpkins. Get it? Okay. But they didn't do that. They drew on them. That's all they did. They drew faces on them, and they put some, they put some profanity on there or whatnot. But they didn't destroy his pumpkins. Well, unfortunately, just that was enough to send. He wasn't in the best of health anyway. And so he collapses on his patch and he dies of a heart attack. But in his dying throes, he spills the feed that he was feeding them. And for unknown reasons, that causes him to reanimate. So now he's reanimated, and he stands up, and he's going to be a righteous avenger for pumpkins. Shelley looks for her uncle, and she doesn't find him. Not that she looks very hard, but she doesn't find him. And then the boys come back that night for more shenanigans, but awaiting them is the reanimated Pumpkinhead. Nope, that's the wrong movie. Pumpkin Bread. No, that's not right either. Pumpkins. Let's just call them pumpkins. David. We'll call him David as Pumpkins. No, that's not right either. Okay, well, you're getting the drift, right? So he comes back and he has a big old pumpkin head on his head. And he's able to spew like pesticides And so he kills one gentleman that way. And then surprisingly, his niece comes out to see what's going on, and she spots the other guy, and instead of scaring him off, she kills him. She kills him too. So now the pumpkin man. So he kills the first one, and then she kills the other one. And that was after she told him that, the pump, before she knows, before that was before or after, after she told her uncle that, violence doesn't solve anything. So after that, the movie just goes into segments. There's a couple of lovers that are out there walking in the woods. They decide to have some fun. They get killed. There's a group of teens that are on a survival, like a pioneers type of deal, pathfinders or whatnot, and they're going out there to camp and survive for like 4 or 5 days. So they're out there, they're wandering around, and of course, the pumpkin man pops up and he starts picking them off one by one. Yeah, cliche if there ever was one. So the only then there's another girl out there who seems to be lost from the very get-go. She seems lost, but she happens to stumble across the first two, the lovers who have been killed, and so she comes running for her life, and she runs across Shelley, who points a rifle at her and tells her to get off her land. Well, believe me, she wants nothing other than to do that. She wants to get the hell out. So she keeps going, and we see the group of teenagers and their leaders. They get wiped out. The one wandering hiker finds a pub. She tries to tell them what's going on. They don't believe her. One guy he says, "I've had enough. I'm going to go home," because he's ex-military. And if I see a serial killer, so much the better. Well, he doesn't see the serial killer. He does see a pumpkin, but he doesn't see the serial killer who kills him from behind. I'm trying. I really am. But this movie's god awful. I think this is your guys' revenge for Hornet last week. I put Hornet up there, and this is you guys' revenge, because this movie is just god awful. It's so bad. I can't even begin to describe in words how bad this movie is. The music's all off. The randomness of it. There's no story. It's no story. It's very mean spirited. It's very mean spirited. Of course, the men get killed quick, and the women get killed brutally. And what's really funny is this was written and directed by a woman, Maya Metheringham or something like that. Maria Lee Metheringham. Her husband plays the Pumpkin Man. So Maria, this is her story. This is her film, and yet she has a very mean-spirited streak there. She also plays Shelley, which is interesting. Most of the movies you try to find something positive, and I really did try, but there's nothing here. This is easily this actually makes Hornet watchable, and that's got to tell you how bad this movie is, because Hornet is just dog meat. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I just was really confused by, if there had been a cohesive story here, if there had been any explanation on what was in the chemicals that would cause him to reanimate, explain his abilities. Like first he does the spewing of the pesticide, which is actually that was interesting. But then he turns into a regular slasher, and then he somehow projects. He can bring pumpkins to life, and they can attack on their own. But there's no story to explaining how any of that is possible. it just happens, and the cut and the editing is just not that good either. It's just like it's just not good. I'm not sure. This could be Maria's first film. It could be, so it could be first film. Mistakes. Who knows? But all I know is this movie's just not very good at all. Um, don't know any of the characters. Um, the one character, the one character you do root for, is the Lost Hiker. I'm gonna see if Marie has ever done it. I mean, so she has acted before. She's got 45 credits, but let's see what she does as far as the director goes. Okay, yeah, she has 10 credits as a director, and this looks to be like her first feature film in 2018. The rest of it looks like she did a anthology film, and then yeah, maybe that's it too. Um, but no, I really can't recommend this movie. This is a perfect Dollar Tree theater type movie. This is the movies you guys get at the Dollar Tree. You invest that dollar 25 into it, and if it's not that good, you could donate it or give it away or make it into a coaster or whatever. But yeah. So that's my review of Pumpkins. Oh, wait a minute. There is one thing I will mention. There is one small thing I will have to give to it. They filmed it. They filmed it at the right time of year. Now I did notice that. That was a nice touch. They filmed it in around the fall time, and that seemed really. It was that was good. You can see the leaves are falling and the foliage is turning orange and brown. I mean, they filmed it at the right time, so hats off to them for that. But that's about it. All right, that's it. Pumpkins, Dollar Tree Theater. All right. Well, next week it will definitely be better. I promise you, better. All right. That's it. That's it for us. If you'd like the review, please give us a sub and a like, and please leave a comment down below. We really need the comments. Really want to hear from you. All right. Well, that's it for us. On behalf of Paladin the Cheetah, this is Patrick saying, peace.